if you see, we have a front end and we have a back end and we have a database. So from front end, we call through the API to the backend. So what will this backend do? The backend will get the requirement as a payload from the front end, and it will go ahead and it will go to the database and collect the data from the DB, and it will process the data here and it will return to the front end through the API. Okay, I will put it in a simpler way. Uh, how I hope most of the people see the example. So let's take a restaurant. So in restaurant we all have a um, kitchen. We all have a the storage room where you store all the raw materials like chicken, butter, whatever it is. And in a kitchen we all the chefs are cook the food and they will make a dish and it will be ready to serve. In the service area where people sit and ask for a food and they can consume the food in that area, so you consider that as a front end. So the service area is the front end. So where customer can ask for a particular data. Let's say paneer butter masala. Let's take an example. So the server, I mean the server is the person who, let's call it in as a supplier. That guy will get the data. I mean the customer needs a paneer butter masala. So from the sit out area, through the API. API means the supplier go and inform the backend team, the kitchen team, asking for paneer butter masala. Now the backend team will go and collect all the necessary raw material from the database, which means they took paneer, they take butter and the required masala, oil, whatever it is, they get it from the store and they make the food paneer butter masala. Oh my god. So they make a food in the kitchen. Once the paneer butter masala is ready, they will give it through the API, which will serve to the customer in the sit out area. So in the same example, you consider this as the kitchen as the sit out area as a front end. So front end refers to display one table in the UI. So that data will call through the calling to the backend through the API. The API sends the information like customer requirement as a payload, and the backend take the data from the necessary, for the requirement or whatever the necessary data we need. The backend will take from the DB through the SQL query. It's a query language, so it will get the data and process the data. So when it gets the data, it may be from three different data tables. It may be from some other format. So it will calculate the data, it will operate the logic, and it will make the one response and give it back to the front end through the API. So that's how the full stack development is work. Cool. Any questions? Okay. uh, Cool. Yeah, well, I can show you now the simple how can we build some simple website on this um, in the hands-on session, definitely. So yeah, cool. Um, cool. Yeah, I just open the backend slide. You can take a screenshot if you want. Yeah. Okay. Okay, I will talk about that quickly. So whenever we request for some data into the backend through the API, we may have to call um, we may have to send the tokens as the authorization. because no one should be able to get the data without any authentication part, right? So that's why we need to do that. Boy, cool, cool. Just hold on a minute. Let me quickly reshare my screen here. Oh, just give me a minute. I'm just opening the toolbar. It is taking some time as expected. Okay, good. Okay. Let me create a folder called um, VFSD. Okay, so cool. I hope the cursor is visible, right? If not, please let me know. Yeah, I see the lot of people, answering for my quiz. Yeah, we'll go to that. I hope the cursor screen is visible now. If yes, okay, okay. Thank you so much. So I will show you very simple, the how to build some simple front end here. Okay, so okay, so I just created the one folder here. What we need to do is just clicking on that, you create index.html. So this is the place where the website will start. So in any index.html, you can simply type HTML and 5. It will give you the small, the layout area here. Cool. So now you can, so this is the HTML file. So why index.html? Basically, so any
Recording in
but yeah,
progress.
we can start with this. So I'm just going to give some title. Let's say student governance system. Okay. So this title, I just gave you the title. I can show you what is this title about. And here in HTML, we have a tags. So a lot of tags like H1, H2, H3, and button input. So these tags, will talk about the elements we have in the front end. So now for HTML H1 tag student, let's say, oh my god. So I just have it students attendance system in the H1 tag. So this is going to be the very simple thing where head in head we have just a title and body we have just these things. So how can I run this? So just click the path. Just you can copy the path and go to the web page and you just paste this and run that. You will get the output here. So now if you see this title, you attend you student attendance system. So let me make uh, so I will, so the title student attendance system and body here. So this part is the title, but the head part will be completely this part, and the body part is the rest of the web page area. Okay, so you don't need to confuse that. So in head part we have student attendance system, and the body part we have student list. Okay, now what we can do? let me have put the input box here. So in input box, and, and I just save the input box. And if I reload here, you can see the input box. So what I'm trying to do is here, just quickly, get a student name in the input box, and clicking on submit, it will, list in the student list. So that's what we are trying to do. Cool. Any doubts here so far? Any doubts? Why are you not using VS Code? So I mostly, okay, let me show you. So I have the chatbot here. So this is the AI chatbot. Giving simple prompt, it will create the code for me. So I mostly work on lot of big kind of code base. So the AI stuff will be easy to write a code very faster. So that's why I use cursor. Even in VS Code we can do that, but in cursor we have a inbuilt cursor AI actually. So I prefer this. But one thing I will ask you all to do is, please do not rely on AI for whenever you are learning something. So if I want to build this simple website, just giving a simple prompt will be able to do this. But when you go to some complex problem, AI will not help you to solve. At the time you have to write a code on your own. So I will suggest you all to not utilize entire AI stuff to learn something. So you do the hands-on so that you will get used to that. Otherwise, it will be very, very difficult. Yeah. Oh my God. I can see a lot of questions. Okay. Okay. So yeah, in cursor we have a limit actually. So cursor for free version we have a limit, but just give me. So in cursor we have a limit, but if you pay, so I get a paid version usually, so that I can able to use a lot of stuff. But yeah, in free version you have a limit. Cool. So I just placed the input button. I'm just going to give a ID for this because so ID is something, so you all have in your colleges, right? So ID is to identify this particular tags, particular element. Okay. So here I'm just going to place a button. So button, in button, like you can say add. So let me show you here. Okay, so we have a student list. We can enter the some students, and I can click on add. Nothing will work because we have to write a JavaScript code to make it work. So here what I will going to do is, in button we have to add on click add student. So what this will do is, whenever you click on the button, on click the button, it will call this particular method. Okay, so that method we have to define in the JavaScript. So let me go ahead and create index.js. So here is our JavaScript file. So here, let me quickly, you know, define one array. So in JavaScript, what is the difference between let and where? Let is which can be the scope is inside the element, and but if you use where, you can access the element outside the scope also. Cool. So I'm just creating the function. So function, and we have to copy paste this function name here. Function and function. So I just defined the empty function here. Now what we are going to do is, oh my God, it's just an skip asking. So let, I'm just creating a new variable called let input field equal to document dot get element by ID. So there is a concept called document object model, which will be in to interact the HTML in the JS part. So here I'm just have a student name. So let me copy the particular thing. Just to get this particular input here, we are getting the particular field here. Now from this field, I'm just going to extract the particular value. So input field dot value, which will return the input value here into the student's name. Now we have a student's array. Now I'm going to push the operation in the student's array, which means students dot push. Cool. So which means student start push. Student is the array. Here I just push the student name into the particular array. Cool. Now let me show you the another method. So in front end nothing will change because we didn't add anything in the front end. So then nothing will change to the front end part. Okay. Cool. Now let's create another function just to display student. So now we from the input we extract the student name. Now we need to display the student. So for that we have to define the area in the HTML here, right? So under the button, let me the heading called heading student list, and let's change the name here, students attendance. Good. So under the h3 tag, I'm just going to put a div tag. So div tag is basically you can manipulate to anything. Like if you want to put the student list here, you can just call this ID and you can populate the data into here. And now also we have to connect the script. So we have created the script file in the JS, right? So we have to connect the script here. So just need to give the address of this source of this script. So now I'm just giving src equal to index.js. So this will take this here. Cool. Now we are good to go. In index.js, now we have to display the student's name, right? So first let's take the last div here. Let's start div equal to the student list. Let me take this. So document dot student list. So now I just take the last div, such as an keep. Cool. Okay, so I just take the last div students list to the last div element. Now I'm just going to create a let list HTML. So I'm just going to give a list HTML. Inside, I'm just going to put the unordered list tag. So this is the HTML tag I define here in the JS, but it will push the particular data into the front end, right? So this is how sometimes the React part also will work. You can render the HTML element from the JS. Now I'm just going to the loop. Let's say now we students is the array. I'm just taking the length. I'm just going to the one by names one by one, and I'm going to write this list.html stuff, which means list.html is plus or minus equal to. So plus or minus equal to, which means so list.html equal to list.html plus this content. So this content will take the students array and take the first element in the first iteration, second element in the second iteration. So it will create the list. Now we need to close the tags, right? So we created the open HTML tag, and now we have to close the HTML tag, which means list HTML plus or equal to the closing tag, right? So we are good now. So last div. So now I'm just going to, we are having the last div dot inner HTML is equal to list HTML. Now will this work or not? Okay, let me see. Okay, any doubts here? Like, okay, if I run this, will the output will be correct or not? Well, it will not give the output. Let me show you all. So I just give a thing, Arun. If I clicking an add, nothing will add. So in that case, we have to go to the console and sort out the things. Okay, nothing will be. what the issue is. So how this method we have, so we have to call this particular method in the particular area. So here if you see, I just call the method. Okay, now this will add. Okay, clicking an add, will this add or not? Good. So let me quickly show you things. So I put a head tag, I put a body tag here. So head tag to define this area, body tag to define this entire area. And in body tag, I put a h1, I get the input, I get the button. From the input, I get the particular name, and I have a dummy div to iterate through the list. In the JavaScript, I have a student array here and add student. Uh, I'm just taking the input field and its value. Then I just push operation, which means it will add the element into the array. So in students array, I just add the name and I call the display function. So in display function, I just take the particular div and I just put open and end HTML tag to make it unordered list, and I iterate through the student list, and finally in the last div, I just put the HTML, entire HTML as a inner HTML to the last div element. That's why here if I create another name, it will add together. Cool. Fine. Any doubt here? Any doubt on this? Cool. Okay, let me quickly go through these slides now. Okay, it's just a quick activity time. Which of this is not front-end technology? You can, comment your answers in the chat box, please. Ah, cool. Yeah, thank you. So Node.js is the right answer. So other React, HTML, CSS are the front-end parts. Great, great, great answer. Yeah, I can see more than 100 people are participating in the quiz. Thank you so much. Cool. And now, what part of the application is responsible for storing the information? Storing the information. Cool, cool. Wow, thank you, thank you. So database is the definitely. So DB is the place where we can store the information. Yeah. And just quick thing. Today we are talking about the um, JavaScript, right? So there is 1,000+ frameworks we have in JavaScript. We know React, Angular, Vue, Next.js, but apart from this, we have thousands of frameworks built on the JavaScript. But that particular JavaScript just built in 10 days. Yeah. So let me address few of your questions here. You already asked. So what is the best learning roadmap for a beginner? I would say you all can start with front end part, and then you can slowly move to the back end part. So the roadmap is in front end, you start with HTML, CSS, JavaScript, then you can move to any backend stuff, and you can, whenever you build the backend, you learn the database also. So in that case, you can slowly move to the job ready capabilities when you build some projects like a travel agent project. So that at all you can build. So how do I plan and structure scalable industry-related project? Obviously, you can build some e-commerce application from end to end using some merge stack, hosting on AWS. So that will give it a better plan. And full stack develop, I would say in 2026, I would say you can rely on merge stack, which is always good, Mongo and Express, Node and React. That will be the best technology for now, but it will keep changing. So obviously we should have an eye on LinkedIn post, and you have to, keep learning about the technology. You should hear the podcast in the Spotify's about the technologies. So that will help you to keep in, learning and keep update on the technology stuff. And what portfolio projects stand out me out of? Definitely, I would say the travel management system or e-commerce application, not a website, it's application. So you can build something so that your profile will show great quality, or else you can start building some little small projects as well in the e-commerce itself, like a project in this product. So you can build a small e-commerce product which can be very very few functionality, which can iterate through a lot of customers. And will full stack development remaining? So I addressed this question already. Yes, definitely full stack development is uh, obviously it's in demand, so still people are hiring, even my company is hiring, so a lot of companies are still hiring for the full stack development. Cool, any doubts? Cool. Okay, we'll move on to the next slide. So obviously it is impossible to become a full stack developer in 60 minutes. It's very hard to even to address the basics itself. So it's hard. So I will introduce Vivin again. So he's a career expert. He is specialist in helping lot of aspirants, and he helped a lot of people to get a great job. He also guided 1,000+ students to get a job. So I will call Mr. Vivin to address you all. You can all ask any doubt related to your career. He will be able to help you out. Over to you, Vivin.
Yes, thank you so much, Sharon. It's really great learning from you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hi, folks. I hope my screen is visible to everyone. If yes, please give me a big thumbs up. Yes. Perfect. Great. Fine. So now, folks, now let me just briefly tell you all about our current education scenario, right? So, as you all know, we actually spend 16 years of education to complete our schoolings and also our college, right? So, in the 16 years of education, we actually spend lakhs and lakhs of rupees, right? Especially in the last 4 years to complete our college graduation, we spend a huge amount that depends entirely on the college brand name, right? And I'm sure, of course, almost everyone will be aspiring to get placed in a very high paid job. But unfortunately, if you see, only 2% of the crowd is able to get placed in a very high paid job, right? The rest 98% of the crowd is not able to get placed. In fact, they're able to get placed only in a very less paid job. The reason being, there is a huge skill gap between the job seekers and the employers. So I'll just come to this slide once again later. I'll move on, right? Now let us discuss briefly about the hiring and filtration process by the companies, right? So of course, the first thing that you do is that you have to create your resume for yourself, right? And once you create the resume, okay, it definitely undergoes application tracking system, which is ATS. And the ATS scans keywords in your resume and gives you your fit score. And this fit score should always be greater than 80, right? Only if it is greater than 80, you'll be going forward to the next round of interviews. But unfortunately, we see again almost 95% of the job seekers fit score is always less than 80. That's the reason, no, even after applying for hundreds of interviews, you're not getting any call from your respective HR team because your fit score is not really great. It's always less than 80, right? And once you cross that level, right, the companies use aptitude test and assignments to evaluate your skills, your problem solving abilities, and also your potential for job success, right? And once you cross that level, right, you'll be moving forward to the tech and non-tech HR rounds, where the companies will assess your alignment with their values, right? And they also test your communication, your teamwork capabilities, and also your leadership skills, right? And if you have successfully navigated all these steps, you're almost at the finish line, which is your job offer letter, right? Now let me just go back to the previous slide. Okay. Yeah. So I just have one question for you all. Okay. Now, why do you think most of the job seekers are not able to get placed in a very high paid job? I'm sure you must be having a lot of points in your mind. Feel free to put here in the chat box. Let's keep this one very interactive, folks. Okay. Don't feel shy. Nobody's here to judge you, right? So whatever is there in your mind, feel free to put here in the chat box. I like to read your comments. Please go ahead. Lack of skills, ignorance, lack of skills, perfect skill, lack of communication, skills. Great. Amazing. Let me just briefly tell you the reasons why a lot of job seekers are not able to get placed. Okay, the first one is a skill gap, right? So this is the most common gap, folks. Okay, so during the interview, right, employers expect job ready skills from the job seekers, right? But unfortunately, job seekers only have theoretical knowledge. There is no practical knowledge, right? And also during the interviews, employers want someone who can build and deploy full stack app independently, right? But many job seekers only know the basics of HTML, CSS, and Java, right? And the second most important reason is there is no hands-on experience from most of the job seekers. There is no real-time projects done by them. That is also one of the major reason, right? So if you see again during the interviews, almost all the job seekers, I mean all the employers look for job seekers who has GitHub projects, deployment knowledge, problem solving abilities, understanding of business logics. But unfortunately, again, many candidates and job seekers, they don't know how to build a real world applications, right? The final truth is that so companies don't hire job seekers with just theoretical knowledge and just a certificate, right? But they always hire a problem solvers who can create value from day one. Yeah. Now here we from HCL Go, we are trying to bridge this gap between the job seekers and the employers by conducting 3 to 5 months of special main boot camp master class about this full stack development course, and we have been doing this for the last more than 10 years, right? And about this full stack development course, obviously it is one of the most promising and one of the most flourishing courses right now in IT industry. So in terms of course value, market value, opportunities for job, both inside and outside India, it is really very huge. That is the reason almost 80% of the job seekers are willing to learn full stack development course, right? And yeah, about this full stack development course, it has two batches. One is a weekday batch, other one is a weekend batch, right? So if you choose weekday batch, that is going to be a 3 months course, right? And if you choose weekend batch, that is going to be a 5 months course, right? So if you choose weekday, you'll be having classes from Monday till Friday for 5 days a week, right? And if you choose weekend, you'll be having classes only on weekends, that is only on Saturdays and Sundays, and it is going to be proper live classes for 2 to 3 hours. It is there won't be any pre-recorded classes. It is not a pre-recorded class. It is a proper live interactive classes, right? And in fact, we also provide you the recorded classes, okay, the same day, very day, right? So if in case for any reason, if in case you are not able to attend the live session due to some emergency, you can definitely make use of the recorded classes. Whether you join or don't join the live session, we'll be providing you the recorded session by default, right? And once you complete this course, okay, right, in this 3 months or 5 months period of time, you'll be getting a certificate, right? And that certificate is going to be useful for you globally because it is a globally authorized certification from HCL GUI, right? So you can definitely make use of it whenever you want, especially in the interviews, right? And about the tools that you'll be learning in full stack, you'll be learning tools like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React.js, Node.js, MySQL, MongoDB, and so on. Now you might have a question in your mind, which is the most important one: how we are going to learn this course in just 3 months or 5 months period of time? Because here I'm sure, apart from the working professional in IT sector, we have a lot of professionals from non-IT department. We have a lot of students, a lot of freshers who just completed their graduation, right? So you all might be from different non-IT background, right? So no worries, folks, right? As I told you all, in GUI, not only you, almost 95% of the learners who joins in GUI are from non-IT background, right? So we teach everything from scratch, from basics. In fact, we train you as if you are a newborn, right? And yeah, but we just expect only 3 things from you, right? That is your time, your effort, and also your interest to learn this course. Nothing else. We just need only 3 things from you. That is your time, your effort, and also your interest to learn this course. And trust me, guys, you won't believe me. In GUVI, right, most of our alumni who got placed, in the recent past are basically from non-IT background, right? So after joining here, those guys, they gave their 100% effort on daily basis. They learn something new on a daily basis, and in fact, they have done more than 10 plus live industry projects by themselves, and finally they also have got placed, right? And the most important, the best part here in Govi is that more than theoretical knowledge, we train you a lot practically, right? Because hands-on experience is very very important. Once you're going for the interviews, I'm sure you all know that most of the hiring partners, like the first question what they ask in the interview is that whether do you have any hands-on experience or not, right? Only if it is yes, you'll be will be moving forward to the next round of interviews. If not, you'll be definitely you'll not be selected for the next round of interviews, right? And the most important part to train you, we have top industry experts from global companies like Microsoft. We have industry experts from Amazon. We have people from Freshworks and so on. I'll just show you a few slides where you'll get an idea. Yeah. So these are actually our mentors. Okay. So we have a mentor, Miss Kunika Malhotra, right, who's basically working as a software engineer, right? She'll be training you about this full stack development course. We also have Mr. Siddhartha Sarangi, who is working in Walmart. Actually, be training you about this particular course. And we also have Mr. Arun Kumar, who's working as a software engineer in Freshworks, right? So he'll be training you about this particular course, folks. Yeah. Now coming back to the previous slides. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. Now and apart from this, you'll also be we'll also be providing a GitHub profile. GitHub profile is nothing but a digital portfolio, right? So whatever projects and assignments that you do will be uploading into your GitHub profile, right? And you can definitely showcase your skill sets during the interview process with the help of this GitHub profile, folks, right? And the most important one is the placements. Obviously, you are willing to learn this course. You are investing your hard-earned money. You're investing your valuable time to learn this course, only to get a very good job in very good job in a good tier one company, right? So here in Govi, we majorly focus on placements. We have more than 500 plus hiring partners, right? And most importantly, we conduct a lot of mock interviews, right? So we exactly know which company is going to ask you which question, or how you should answer those questions. If in case if you're doing some mistakes, what mistakes you're doing, and how you can rectify those mistakes in the upcoming interviews will be there with you till the end. The moment you join, the day when you join till the day you're getting placed, it's completely our responsibility to make sure you're getting all the support from our side. Okay, you'll be getting proper end-to-end support from our side, folks. Right? I'll just go back to this slide. Yeah, the most important one: should I invest in learning? Right. So unfortunately, if you see most of the job seekers, they think that spending money for education as an expense, right? So what they do, they start learning from YouTube, and they start learning from free tutorial videos, right? In such cases, only 2% of the crowd is able to get placed. The rest 98% of people is actually not able to get placed. Why? Because there is no skin in the game, there is lack of commitment, there is no structure, there is no accountability, and there is no personalized support, right? On the other hand, few job seekers, they think that spending money for education as an investment, right? So what they do is that in such cases the success rate is 71 percentage, because there is skin in the game, there is serious commitment to the learning, there is structural learning, there is complete accountability, and there is also personalized doubt solving and attention. Yeah. Now, as I told you all, you'll be having classes mostly on weekdays and also on weekends. Weekdays is 3 months course, weekends is a 5 months course. The best part here is that we'll be training you in three different languages. We'll be getting trained in English, Tamil, and also in Hindi. You can choose your preferred language, right? Because we want to make sure you are enjoying the learning process. That is the ultimate motto for us. So whatever is your preferred your preferred language, you can definitely choose that. Okay, and obviously, even to clarify your doubts, your queries, you can reach out to the mentor, and we will specifically arrange your mentor. You can who can speak in your mother tongue. Yeah, right. And I just told you about the tools. So in Moon Stack, we'll be learning tools like HTML, Tailwind, CSS, JavaScript, React.js, Node.js, Express.js, and so on. Right. And if you see in Java full stack, we'll be learning tools like Java, Servlet, Spring Boot, Junit, Maven, Gradle, Monkey 2, etc. And as I told you all, it is very much important to focus more on real-time live industry projects, right? So we'll make sure you're at least doing worst case of 5 to 15 real-time projects by yourself. And as I told you all, there'll be a dedicated mentor for you, right? They'll be guiding you and traveling with you, helping you throughout this course, guys, right? So you can see a few projects like task management system, music streaming application, and custom Gmail client using GPI. Okay, so you can also enhance your resume with all these industry projects, right? Now you might wonder how to track all your progress, right? So there is something called as Zen portal. Okay, we'll be giving you no, a Zen portal, access to the Zen portal, okay, where you can track your learning. You can see your attendance, your performance scores, and also you can also manage your activities like tasks, projects, and mock interview informations. And you can also visualize your progress, like you can view your attendance and detailed breakdowns. And finally, you can also monitor your projects. You can get a high level overview of project details and progress, folks, right? And these are the program highlights, right? So as I told you all, okay, whatever doubts, whatever queries you have in your mind, okay, you can definitely reach out to our mentors. Then and there you'll be having support 24/7, right? You can just have to raise a query. Okay, once you raise a query, you'll be getting a call from our team, and they'll be clarifying your questions then and there, folks, right? And second thing is, you'll be getting trained from 50 plus instructors and mentors, right? And there'll be a lot of ask the expert sessions, so that you can definitely reach out to the mentor personally, and you can clarify your questions, no, even in a group discussion, right? And there'll be an academic coordinator who's basically like your buddy, right? Again, as I told you all, he or she will be traveling with you and helping you throughout this course to clarify all your questions, guys, right? And stage log assignments. So there'll be a lot of assignments for you from the beginner level to the advanced level. You can no log stage one by one after clearing all the assignments, folks, right? And sixth one is weekly progress tracking. The last one is lifetime access to the all the recordings. Okay, yeah, fine. This is the sample certificate, right? As I told you all, the certificate is globally authorized. Okay, you can definitely make use of this whenever you want, especially in the interviews. Right? It is useful for you both inside and also outside India, folks, right? And this is the placement roadmap, right? The first thing is that you'll be having classes on weekdays or weekend. That depends on what you choose, on which batch you choose, right? Second thing is that you'll be focusing a lot of assignments, tasks, and hands-on real-time projects. Okay, that is the second thing. Third thing is that you'll be having technical mentorship by the industry experts, right? And fourth one is a lot of mock interviews and group discussion test, right? Fifth one is industry 11 project plus certification. You can definitely make use of it. And last one is proceed to the placement phase, right? And this is the most important one, higher net, okay, which is basically a platform for placements. It is exclusively only for HCL GUI learners, right? So where in this platform you will be having more than 2000 plus hiring partners, right? So you can definitely apply for interviews by yourself. We'll be helping you to build a resume, and of course there'll be a lot of interview support right till the end. And this is going to give you faster job placements, folks, right? Now what we have done, what we have done so far no in HCL GUI, so we have impacted 4 million plus lives in the last 10 years, right? And we have more than 2000 plus hiring partners, right? And the best part is that we train in 13 different languages across India, right? And most importantly, we have incubated by IIT Madras and IIM Ahmedabad over the last few years. And this is one of the largest this is one of the biggest achievement of us, right? Wherein it is India's largest AI revolution. We have got a Guinness record for that, where most users to take an online artificial AI lesson in 24 hours. Right now, how many of you know the context of this movie scene, folks? I'm sure everyone would have watched this particular movie, right? So just feel free to comment here in the chat box. I like to read your comments. So what is the context of this particular movie scene? Please go ahead. Any comments? Okay. MS Dhoni, MS Dhoni. Stick with passion. Perfect. Great. Opportunity. That's good. Fine, guys. I'll just tell you, right? To be honest, like, no, of course, we all love MSD, right? So MSD really had a very big dream, right? And he also was very passionate about his sport cricket, right? And he always had he raised his bar very high, wherein his ultimate aim was to play for his country, right? He